Hi, my name is Paige Welsh, and I am one of the practitioners here at Total Health. And today I want to talk about everything you need to know about immunity and give you some tips and ideas on how to regenerate and rejuvenate your immune system. But before I begin, a little bit about myself. So, I have a master's degree in clinical nutrition and an undergraduate degree in health education and nutrition as well. And my personal areas of expertise reside in things like autoimmunity, hormonal health, detoxification, digestion, and fatigue as well. And I have been at Total Health for about 6 years now. So I would love to get to know any and all of you listening in, but let's get started with immune health. So, what is the immune system? The immune system is actually derived from your bone marrow, and it's a collection of white blood cells that are scattered throughout your body. So when the white blood cells come out of the bone marrow, they are converted into a specific member for your immune system. So for example, if you have a viral infection, then that white blood cell will turn into a specific form to help you fight off that virus. Whereas if you have an environmental allergy or a food allergy, then the white blood cell will turn into a completely different form than that viral form and will help you fight against that allergen. So your immune cells will address issues both inside the cell and help fight infections outside of the cells as well. And problems really start to begin with your health and your immune system when various stressors interfere with those immune cells, which will reduce your ability for the immune system to respond to an invader. So, what all affects your immune system? Everything from what you think to how stressed you are, to what you eat, to how well you sleep, and how toxic your environment is are all going to affect your immune cells and their ability to fight off infection. So if you are super stressed, if you are eating too much sugar or consuming too much caffeine, or if you're exposed to a toxic environment, then your immune system is going to suffer. The more stressors that you're personally dealing with, the harder it is for your immune system to protect you. So other stressors that may interfere with your immune system include things like glyphosate and GMO foods. The three most common GMO foods in our country are soy, wheat, and corn. Pesticides and fungicides, which are sprayed on a lot of our crops and our foods. Heavy metals such as mercury, lead, and aluminum. Chemicals such as chlorine and BPA, which is found in plastics, and other chemicals found in plastics. Poor digestive health and hormonal imbalance are all going to affect your immunity. So what role does the immune system really have? A lot of people think that the immune system is really just for protecting us against things like the cold and the flu. However, the immune system is also going to help you fight off and control the balance of things like yeast, bacteria, viruses, and parasites, which are all pathogens that will affect your immune system and live in the body. So in a normal, healthy immune system, there's going to be a colony of these different pathogens, and they're going to be in the right balance. But when they get off kiltered, then that's going to really start to affect your health, and it can start to affect things like your energy, your weight, your mood, anxiety, depression, hormonal imbalance. It can affect and lead to things like autoimmunity and even cancer. So your immune system plays a big role in more than just fighting off infection. It can also affect your energy, your weight, your hormones, and your mood as well. A common thing that people realize when they get older is that their immune system starts to decline and gets lowered. And this is true, however, it's not inevitable. And one other cause of this is as we get older, usually our inflammation gets higher. So as we age, our immune system becomes more alarmed and more alert from all those stressors that I just talked about. And all of this is going to affect your inflammation levels. So other things that will affect your inflammation include things like your diet, your stress load, and your environmental toxins. So unfortunately, a lot of people do get more inflammation as they get older. However, this is not inevitable, and it's really interesting. So I see clients from birth all the way to about 80. I think my oldest is 80 right now. And some of the younger clients actually have more inflammation than some of the older clients. And then obviously some of the older clients are going to have more inflammation than some of the younger ones. So depending on how your lifestyle is, you can keep that inflammation low or promote it to be high. And this all in turn is going to affect your immune system. So when the inflammation is lower, then your immune system cells are less likely to get injured and are going to be stronger at protecting you. So knowing where your inflammation levels are at, especially on a cellular level, is a key factor to optimal immunity. One of the tests that we actually can do in the clinic is called a meta-oxy urine test, and this will measure your levels of cellular inflammation, which in our opinion is a lot more valuable than a blood test for inflammation because it shows us those levels without you maybe even realizing that you're inflamed. Sometimes, too, by the time that your blood levels reflect that there's high inflammation, you've been inflamed for a very long time. So the urine test can pick up on inflammation a lot sooner, and especially in people who don't have pain or don't think that they're inflamed at all. All right, so how can we regenerate our immune cells and keep the immune system healthy? So the key word here is to regenerate. You want to rejuvenate and regenerate your immune system and your immune cells rather than overactivating the immune system. So unfortunately, some people can actually overactivate the immune system, and this can lead to something called a cytokine storm. A cytokine storm can then lead to irreversible damage and even death, possibly. So make sure that you're talking to a trusted healthcare provider before you decide to implement any supplements or protocols for your immune system. So in the clinic, we take an individual basis for each case. We really take into account a person's health history, their goals, what their current state of health is in before we recommend any protocols. So the people that need to be most concerned about this are those with autoimmune disease and cancer. So the first step in rejuvenating your immune cells is to improve your gut health. So I know Mona's doing a video on digestive health and immunity for this summit, so make sure to tune into hers. But just a little bit about gut health. About 50% of your immune cells go straight to the gut, and they sit in something called the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, which is also known as the GALT. And the GALT helps protect your body from invasion that's happening inside the gut. So you could be fighting off a bacteria in the gut, and if your GALT is strong, that bacteria will never get out into the bloodstream and affect other areas of the body. However, if there's any inflammation in there, then you're more likely to get a bacteria or a virus or anything, really a toxin, to get into the bloodstream and affect any organ. So depending on what you feed your gut, your immune system is going to respond to that. If you feed your gut a lot of junk food, processed foods, packaged fast foods, hydrogenated oils, vegetable oils, GMO foods, and sugars, your immune system is going to be on high alert, and it's going to make it much harder for your body to fight off an actual infection. The next tip I would give would be to prioritize your sleep. This will allow you to produce enough T cells, which is really important in particular for fighting off viral infections. But sleep is also needed for growth and repair. So you may want to consider sleeping in a pitch black room. Even the little bit little bit of light is going to keep your body awake. So we have photoreceptors on all of our skin, which will be affected by any sort of light in the room, and that will help, that prevents you from getting into a good deep quality sleep. So you may want to consider something like an eye mask to put over your eyes, or blackout curtains to keep the room nice and black. You also want to pay attention to the temperature that your room is. The optimal sleeping temperature is between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything below that or above that is going to make it harder for you to fall, may make it harder for you to fall asleep, stay asleep, or get into deep sleep. You may also want to consider avoiding blue light and artificial light, especially after sunset. I recommend to my clients to turn off all devices at least an hour before bed, but if that's too difficult, then you may want to consider wearing blue light blocking glasses at nighttime or once the sun sets. You also want to consider maybe wearing socks to bed. That's another one of my tips, because that will signal to the brain that it's bedtime, so it may help you fall asleep a little easier. So I see a lot of clients that do struggle with falling asleep and or staying asleep, and there's many different root cause issues to why that could be going on. So if this is a concern of yours, please consider calling the clinic and speaking to one of the practitioners about your issues, and we could help you identify those root cause issues. We also have various YouTube videos that we've recorded and articles we've written on our website, so be sure to check those out. It might give you a little more information as well. Next, I would like to go over how to optimize your diet to rejuvenate your immune cells. So you want to make sure that you're eating plenty of fruits, vegetables, and if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, high quality grass-fed pastured animal products and wild-caught seafood and fish every single day. So you want to also make sure that you're getting a diversity of these foods in your diet, because when you eat the same foods over and over again, you're more likely to develop a food sensitivity, and that's going to make it a lot harder to fight off infections. So if you eat the same foods over and over again, it's also going to keep your immune cells not strong enough to fight off what they need to be fighting off, and that will place further stress on the immune system. So diversity is key. A couple tips I have for this would be to try to eat all the colors of the rainbow. So you may want to consider doing like a really good salad that's got chopped up red peppers for your red. You could throw in a hard-boiled egg. That would be your orange and your yellow. You could do a variety of leafy greens for the green, blueberries, chop up some red onion for the purple, and then do a homemade olive oil balsamic vinegar with Italian seasoning or Mediterranean seasoning on top. So that would be the entire color of the rainbow. I also play a little game when I grocery shop where I try to find the fruits and vegetables that are on sale that week, and I try to make sure they're different from what I've eaten the week before or the week before that. And then what I do is I go home and I try to find a recipe that they're used in. And if all else fails, then I'll usually just chop them up and I'll throw it on a baking sheet, drizzle some avocado oil and season it really well, and then bake until they're soft. So that's a way to get diversity into your diet. The foods that you want to avoid the most to protect your immune system are sugars, processed carbohydrates, like breads, crackers, and pastas, hydrogenated and vegetable oils such as corn, canola, and soybean oil, conventional dairy products. A lot of my clients have food sensitivities to dairy and they don't even realize it. So if you are going to be eating dairy, make sure that you're eating grass-fed organic dairy. You're less likely to have an immune reaction to that versus conventional dairy products. And then grains, especially GMO grains like corn and wheat, can be very inflammatory and can disrupt the immune system. Next, make sure that you're staying hydrated. So try to sip on clean filtered water at least every 15 to 20 minutes throughout the day. The key here is that it's clean and filtered. So unfortunately, tap water and even most bottled water contains chemicals and heavy metals, which are going to further disrupt your immune system. So it's important to stay hydrated, not only for energy and detoxification, obviously, but you want to make sure that you don't allow your mouth to get dry. When your mouth gets dry, it becomes very acidic, and this allows various viruses and bacteria to take over, and it's going to make it harder for your body to fight off infection. So make sure that you're prioritizing your oral care. Some other tips you may want to try would be coconut oil pulling. I try to oil pull multiple times during the week, and then I even throw in some thieves essential oil when I oil pull to help remove any pathogenic or harmful bacteria or viruses in the mouth. And then you want to also consider avoiding fluoride in your toothpaste, because that's going to disrupt the beneficial bacteria in your mouth. So the more beneficial bacteria you have in your mouth and in your gut, the stronger your immune system will be. Next, you want to make sure to keep your stress levels as low as possible. So due to the high demands of society, all the high stress lives we're living, I do recommend engaging in some sort of stress reducing activity every single day. So you could consider things like meditation, prayer, light yoga, journaling, reading, aromatherapy, taking a bath, and then breath work. So breath work is free. You can do it anywhere. My personal favorite is something called 4-7-8 breathing. It's where you breathe in for a count of 4. You then hold for a count of 7, and you breathe out for a count of 8. So this is really relaxing to your nervous system. It helps calm you down, and this will really help your immune system as well. So if you're someone that does suffer with anxiety or depression, then you may want to consider watching the webinar I made on fatigue, anxiety, and insomnia. I recorded that online, and if you go to our website, totalhealthinc.com, go under the YouTube tab, it'll be under there. I go into more detail with that, and you may also want to just consider calling one of our practitioners to speak more about your case. Next, you want to get sweaty, so engage in regular exercise, which will improve immunity. And when we get sick, we get a fever for a reason. So it's good to get your body temperature up if you want to keep your immune system strong. So exercising, even sauna use. And if you have a sauna, if it's big enough, you may even want to consider doing something like yoga or stretching in the sauna to get the benefits of both. Next, you want to consider getting your vitamin D levels checked, and this is because vitamin D is one of the most important nutrients for our immune system. The medical range for your vitamin D blood levels is between usually about 25 to 100 nanograms per milliliter. However, we find that to have optimal immunity, you should really be between 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. So you may have a level of 30 and your doctor may say, oh, you're a little low, but it's fine. When in our opinion, it's way too low. Your immune system's going to suffer when your blood levels are that low. So try to get your levels checked if you can. If not, it's a pretty safe bet that for those living in Wisconsin, they're going to need to supplement with vitamin D. A safe dosage for that is usually between 5,000 to 10,000 IUs per day. Just make sure that if you are supplementing with vitamin D, that you're also supplementing with vitamin K2. A lot of supplements will have the combination of the two. This is important for utilization and absorption of your vitamin D levels. There are tons and tons of other various nutrients to support your immune system. So some would include things like vitamin C, zinc, vitamin A, colloidal silver, oregano oil, and medicinal mushrooms. All are really good. However, some of these nutrients are more supportive for prevention, while others are more supportive for if you are sick. So make sure that you're talking to a trusted healthcare provider so you kind of know what you're doing with that with supplementation. And if you have questions, if you want to learn the difference between the two, please give our clinic a call, and you can talk to one of the practitioners, or one of the store associates might be able to help you with that as well. Last, one of the easiest tips that might do the best for you would be just to consider a really good whole food based multivitamin. So this will give you the vitamins and minerals that are essential for proper immunity. So a lot of my clients who start with a really good whole food based multivitamin report that they have stronger immune systems. So it's a really good way to just get in a basis of good nutrition and to cover the basis for that. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you do have any questions, personal questions, if you want to learn more about our clinic, we invite you to call us for a free 15-minute phone consult. The number to the clinic is 262-251-2929. You can also visit the website and fill out a contact request and submit that, and one of the practitioners will then call you. All right, so I hope you are staying well and healthy, and have a great rest of your day.